Welcome back to Midnight Mike's Backyard Shop. Tonight, I'm back in the shop. We got the lower section of the welding table on casters and rolling around, and it's pretty good. It seems to be level enough for what I'm going to use it for. And I've got a mess here to clean up. So I'm going to work on cleaning this mess and dragging the top out so I can start cutting on it and welding on it. So let me get this mess cleaned up just a little bit and we'll get going on our next project. I really like cleaning messes, and man, have I got a mess. I've got lots of different junk piled up back here. Lots and lots of junk. And I'm trying to organize, and I'm not that great at it. At work, I'm pretty decent at it because it helps make me money. But at home, how many of you guys struggle with organizing because you've got projects all over the place in all different phases of a project too? Not complete, but different stages. That's kind of where I am in life. I just have so much stuff on my plate all the time, and that's okay. It's it's tough to manage sometimes, but it's all right. There's worse things in life. I could be that old dry worm I just threw that got in here when it was wet out. That wouldn't be a good day. Just keep plugging away. Try to make every day better than the last one. I find that cleaning really makes me feel better about things that might be going on in my life or whatever. It just takes you away from the everyday, and it has a calming effect for me. So I enjoy it. It may not look like it. Pretty messy around here. But I'll tell you what, 2 months ago, this section right here, I couldn't even walk through this area. So this is a huge upgrade from that. And it just keeps getting better. Like little by little, I've been getting stuff done. And that sense of accomplishment can drive you forward to accomplish even more. Now today is St. Patrick's Day, and I didn't wear green all day. I don't know if you guys did, but I didn't, and nobody pinched me. And I think it's probably because I'm kind of a bigger guy, but that's all right. So I think for a simple, quick project, I was thinking about maybe taking some of my scraps and trying to build like like a 4-leaf clover maybe. And I got to look through stuff and see if I can source pieces and parts. And I think maybe I'm going to tackle that. And that would be pretty fun. So I'll get you back in here when I figure out what I'm going to do. And if that's the top of the table, great. If it's a 4-leaf clover for St. Patrick's Day, I'm sure it'll be coming out a little bit late because I haven't done it yet, and it's already St. Patrick's Day. So maybe I should do a cross for Easter or something like that instead, because I have a little bit of time before then and right now. So anyway, see what we can figure out. Well, I've got this metal strap laying out back here, and I believe it was like a landscape edger, maybe. I don't know for sure, but it's got some green paint on it. So I think I might cut some heart shapes, half heart shapes, and weld up some clover leaves and put them on a stem for a shamrock. So stay tuned. We'll see what we can figure out. Well, I think I'm going to get started on cutting that into little half heart shapes. But before I get started, I'm going to drag the soon to be tabletop out and set them up, or set it up on these sawhorses. That way I have a flat spot to work. And actually, I think I'll put this way. There we go. So I have the flat side to work with. All right. Clamp that baby down. There we go. Kind of draw a line maybe. I don't know if I like that line. I don't want that hole right there. Maybe I can do it like this. Yep, that's better. All right, we'll see what kind of precision I can do with the death wheel. I think I have to change my blade back over because I have a grinding wheel on it, not a cutting wheel. So grab the cutoff wheel here. Ooh, I unplugged everything. Had a pretty good storm come through, and I just like to unplug stuff that's not necessary when I don't have a power strip, and I don't out here. So unplugging was a good option. Let's see. I don't know that you can see me very well from that angle. I don't think that's probably going to help any. So pull it over here. Like this. Maybe make it better. See what it looks like. I think I'm just going to zoom into that. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. So I've got a couple little lines drawn right there. Okay, you can kind of see my scribbles. I'm going to go with the one that's curving this way. I didn't want this hole in there. So Grab a pair of pliers. All right. So there's kind of my half heart shape right there. I'm going to trim that. And look, it's got green on this side that's kind of weathered looking. And I think after I weld that, like I'm going to make 2 per leaf. And that's going to weld on to a stem. After I weld 2 of these together, it'll form the leaf. You'll see. It'll be pretty cool. So I'm going to cut several more of these. Man, it's cold where I am right now, and my air compressor oil viscosity is way, way too thick for running my air compressor right now. So I'm going to have to use the death wheel to kind of shape this out. So hopefully you can see this okay. So I've got this pretty well shaped. So you can kind of see here. It's a pretty decent shape. And I mean, that's going to make a cool flower petal. Or I guess it's a leaf for the Shamrock. So I'm going to use this as a template and cut several more of them and use the best ones that I make to make several leaves that I can put together on a Shamrock. So stay tuned. Okay, so I've got all my lines marked on here. So I'm going to start by cutting each one out. And so I've got 2, 4, 6 made up. So I'll have a 3-leaf Shamrock when I'm all done cutting and shaping and welding. So hopefully you can still see that. I might not have to move it over a little bit here. That ought to work. Here goes. There's that green side. So even in a pinch, I mean, you guys could use a file to cut these things smooth, or smooth them off anyway, not to cut them so much. Hacksaw on a file. Man, Lord help you if you do, but it's possible. Okay, now here's something I didn't consider, and I'm glad I'm holding these up now. So to make a heart, I'm going to have a green side and a rusty side. So I need to make them the other way. So I'm glad I've only cut 2 so far. And let's see, that's not going to work if I could, no, it's just not going to, that's not going to be a very good pedal. So in order to make it symmetrical, I'm going to need to cut the different direction. So I'll cut a couple more of these, and then I'll have to flip it over so I can have a couple that are the other direction. I'll need at least 3 the other direction. And I'm wondering if I ought to make a 4-leaf clover instead of a 3-leaf. Most of the clover I've ever found has been 3-leaf. So I'll probably only make 3 more the other direction. So I'll cut this last one and then I'll flip them. Oh, you dummy. That one's actually got a hole in it. I probably won't be using that one. Wasn't paying any attention. I wonder if I can make this one. Yeah, well, it's got a hole. I mean, the hole kind of looks neat. I don't know. What do you think? Can you see the hole? I might be able to make that one the other direction. Let's see here. Heck yeah, I can do that. Give myself a line here to go off of, and I'll make this just the other side. That'll look pretty cool. I guess I better hold it with a pair of pliers. I'm going to use some better pliers to hold it. Oh yeah, that's kind of goofy looking, but pretty cool. Let's see, I was gonna do that like this. Still pretty warm. That's all right. So it's kind of hard to visualize maybe, but that's gonna be, and I'm gonna kind of fold them a little bit and kind of, bend them so they have a little bit of an arch in them. So that's gonna be one leaf, and I'm gonna make a couple more of these. So I need to change up this design a little bit. So this line is now going to do this, and this one's going to be straight off. I can kind of see that. That's ugly. Okay, so is that one? Yeah, that's one. Where'd my other piece go? There it is. Didn't pan out like I thought it was gonna. Oh yeah, it did. Okay, I see what I need to do. So there we go. There's one. I'm gonna clean that, get that a little straighter on this edge here, so they match up a little better. That's a little better. That's going to weld pretty good. And I'm going to put an angle in it anyway. So, and I'm going to probably put these in a vise and bend them before I weld them together. There's a couple. Those look pretty cool. Cut this one like this. The death wheel's still doing okay. I've been using it as more of a grinder, like a die grinder sideways, more so than I should probably, but it's all right. It's still doing okay. It's going to be a pretty slick looking leaf. I don't know if you can see that very good. Definitely not right now. There we go. Zoom in a little bit. I know the pliers are in the way, but it's going to look pretty cool. Set that guy up there. Actually, let's mark out another cut. Oh yeah, those are cool. Bring you in so you can see them. Oh, I wonder how much of that video was like crappy there. Sorry. So there's the 3 Shamrock leaves. So I'm going to bend them up and weld them together. So let me get you situated on the vise so you can see me bending. All right, excuse the mess. Let's get these chalked up in the vise. I'll try to do 2 at a time here. Should be pretty simple. Grab some pliers and just give them a little twist. I can go to a couple different angles maybe. All right, see what they look like. Oh yeah, turned out pretty good. So see if you can see that. So I put a little bit of a curve in them. So when they're welded together, that seam will look pretty neat. And I think it's going to end up being pretty cool. And I like how the green is really weathered. So I think for refinish purposes, I might just find some 2K clear to spray over that with a rattle can. It might look pretty good and last a long time. All right, do the same thing. Just barely put them down in there so we can put a little bend on them. Make sure that's zoomed in okay. Yep. Oh yeah, that's gonna look pretty cool. Heart. You can kind of see that hopefully. Maybe. Yep. All right, got 2 more to do here. If you're watching this and you've got allergies, let me know what part of the country you're in. I'm in the middle of the country, and the weather here has been nuts. It's supposed to be like 90 degrees in a couple days, but it was like snowing just yesterday or the day before, and it's been so cold. It's hard to believe that there's going to be snow. So this is one of those leaves here. Yeah, anyway, if you can, comment below and let me know. But anyway, this is that leaf that's going to have a hole in it. And I think that's kind of neat. It's like, oh, maybe a worm got in there. Let's see, there's some curvature there. And that's going to be cool. So let me go find a stem and I'll get you guys set up back on the makeshift welding table. All right, we got the welder humming. I think I'm going to shoot from this angle maybe. And maybe I'll swap it out here actually. Get a little closer, fold down here. So you can kind of see where I'm at. Do it from this angle. That'll be pretty decent. So I've kind of ground a spot off here on the table. And I've got my clamp over on this other edge. So I'm going to set these here and try to tack them. And try not to go through the table. We'll see how it goes. Need my welding pliers. Sorry. I don't know that this is going to work very good with this rusty metal. Yeah, I need to clean this off a lot better. It's too cold to turn my air compressor on. All right, cool. That worked pretty good there. So I got that tacked together so you can kind of see what I've got going on here. Those are tacked pretty good. It's not too bad. I think I'm going to try to stack tacks on it and go all the way from top to bottom. Maybe I can even clamp it down a little bit, hold it in place. See, the way that sounded, I think I need to do some adjusting. I just turned my voltage up a little bit and my wire speed up a little bit. See if it'll melt better. Oh yeah, that's not bad. Kind of show you what I got going on here. It's solid too. So that's the front. That's going to be the show side, and it's like got some heft to it. So I'm just going to stack the rest of the way down, and I'm kind of going to melt this point down, so it won't be so sharp. Right on this plastic here. Look how hot that is. I'm going to grab it with my rubber glove here. Totally kidding. Okay, so I got rid of that point. I don't know if you can see it. And that's going to be awesome. That's going to hold together really good down there at the base. That side, I'm trying not to burn the paint off, but I think it'll look kind of neat when I I don't know that I'm going to scratch it off much actually, because I kind of want that weathered look. So we'll see what it looks like when I get the others and kind of get them together. This here is what I'm planning on having for a stem. So I don't know if you can see that. Sorry I keep hitting the camera, but that's kind of what I'm going for there. This was just another hunk of dowel rod that I had bent for something else. Just took a chunk of it off. Yeah, that is pretty solid. That's not gonna break. Hopefully. I say that, but it might. My torch go. There it is. Yeah, that wire speed and voltage work pretty good there. So I'm gonna leave it alone. Tack. That's a tack. I'm gonna tack the bottom. That's pretty good. Make sure it's not stuck to the table. Actually, I'm just gonna run it. I can unstick it from the table. See, I unsticked it from the table. That one looks pretty cool. On focus a little, buddy. There it goes. So that's pretty neat. It's not bad for an amateur artist. See if we can make these stick together. This is that cool leaf with the hole in it. Man, really need to upgrade my welding helmet. This Harbor Freight one doesn't auto darken like it should. It's driving me nuts. Here's the back side of that one. There's the front. That's pretty cool. Let's see what we can do with the stem now. Put that one at that angle, like that. Hopefully like that. That'll be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty neat. That one's still really hot. All right. I think I know what I want to do here. I'm liking that. Hey, got it. That one's still really hot. Maybe that one can be on the top. I want this one to be down here like this. This one to be like that. Yeah, I think so. Okay, I'm gonna have to hold that with the pliers. That's hurting. All right, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of grinding here to get that one to sit where I want it, and that's okay. I think you can still see that okay. Gosh dang it, it wasn't zoomed in very good, was it? All right, this might work. Don't want to grind into that. Uh-oh, that's not gonna work. Oh yeah, that's gonna work good. Do that. I'm gonna take a little bit more off so it'll sit just a little bit different. Man, that's neat. I kind of don't like how you can't see the stem very well, so I might actually do something different there. I don't know, that's pretty cool. I don't know, what do you guys think? It's kind of neat. Didn't turn out quite like I wanted. I might break that loose. Here we go. That's a little better. That's a little more like what I wanted. So I'm going to reinforce that since I just twisted the weld off of it. So that's pretty cool. That's going to look neat. So on the back side, I'm just going to like weld it up a little bit better. So I kind of broke it loose, like right there. Kind of see that. By twisting, I just kind of weakened it. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more on the back side here. That's pretty cool. I don't think I'll be grabbing that for a little bit. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. Can you see that okay? There's quite a, that's pretty stiff. So I'm pretty happy with that. Looks pretty cool. I think I'll put something on the bottom here to make it stand up like that. I might do some more bending on the leaves to get them a little bit better looking. But that's pretty cool. That's a really weathered looking shamrock. Pretty neat. I might put just a little bit more weld right there. Uh-oh. Cool. That looks kind of neat. I wonder if that's really hot. It's pretty hot. It's not too hot. All right. I'll brush it off a little bit. I'll use this brass brush. Try not to take off too much of the paint. Golly, that is cool. Kind of wish I would have rounded that off a little more. I still might. Put on some glasses here. Do a little bit of shaping right there on this one. I didn't like that sharp edge. Steel brush on the edges here. Knock the burrs off maybe if it's got any. Backside, I don't really care. I can steel brush it all I want. Knock some of this rust off. Man, this thing turned out pretty sweet. I'm happy with that. What do you think? Pretty cool for a quick job. I should weld something heavy on the bottom so it'll stand up. We'll look around here and see what I can find. I'm working on the base for the stem right now. It's a couple nuts that I'm welding together. I forgot to hit record. Sorry about that. So far, I've just got 3 tacks, and hopefully this will work out, be heavy enough. Might be all I do on that part. Now the stem, I'm going to put in like this to try to hold it up. So I need to grind a little spot here. So I got a spot ground around there now. See about sticking it to it. Whoops. I didn't like that one bit. Maybe I'll try to lay it down. Steady it without holding it. That might work better. Hey now, come on. Man, I think that's a good enough tack to see if it'll stand up. I'm not so sure it's going to be heavy enough. Hey, that's not bad. I'll go ahead and fill that up. It'll make it a little bit heavier. Cool. I think that'll work. Whoops, I missed. That's hot, but it's a lot heavier than it was. That baby is smoking, but I bet it'll stand up. Well, it used to. There it goes. Man, that's awesome. I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. That's pretty cool. See it smoking? I mean, it was red hot. I definitely filled that up. Filled it up enough anyway. So I'll probably grind that a little bit. And I don't think that's going to go anywhere. That is awesome. I kind of put a little bit more bends in the leaves over on my vise to make them look a little bit better. Man, I want to grab down low so you can see the flowers, but I am not touching that with my rubber gloves on. Even leather gloves, that'd be pretty hot. All right, cool. There's that a little bit more cleaned off. I wiped the crud off of this part here. And it's not tuning or zooming in very good. Too close to it, I guess. But anyway, that's still very hot, so I'm not grabbing it. Maybe that'll help it zoom in. Well, thanks a lot for tuning in to Midnight Mike's Backyard Shop. This has been a fun project, and I think I'm going to go ahead and call it good. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there who is Irish and maybe claims to be Irish, even if you're not. Be safe and just get out there and build something. It's a lot of fun. So if you have questions or comments, be sure to write them below. And I'm looking forward to seeing any that show up. And I'll try my best to answer them. And I mean, equipment questions or just anything. Negative comments, that's great too. Maybe I need to learn something. I'm sure I do. this has been a lot of fun, good learning experience, and I'm looking forward to building off of what I've started. So I guess we'll see you on the next one. Have a good night.